I suppose you just started completing your self-assessment tax return and you got stuck, or you are not sure how to answer one or a few of the questions, right? I get you. If you are seeking a guide on how to fill out your tax return application with HMRC, then you've arrived at the right place. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the application and show you what needs to go in each of the fields. Sounds good? Let's continue. Since there will be a lot of mind-numbing accounting terms ahead that might get you slightly confused, I suggest you grab a warm coffee, sit comfortably on your sofa, and then we should be ready to get started. The very first thing you need before discussing tax returns is making sure you have a government gateway user ID and password. Usually, you would set these up during your registration for self-employment. If you have these noted beside you, then we can kick off. You have to go to the HMRC website and log into your self-assessment account using the credentials discussed before. This is how the page looks like. You will then be sent an access code to your mobile phone number set up on your account. You have to plug that into the field you see. Now, you arrived in your personal tax account where you can find all the details related to your tax, PAYE and others. In order to start your application, you should be able to find a button highlighted in blue inviting you to complete your tax return. You should then be taken to all the sections that need to be fulfilled in your application. The first questions are pretty straightforward. You need to fill in the boxes with your personal details such as your first name, second name, national insurance number, address, etc. The trickier questions start in section 3, where you have to answer either you only worked as self-employed, as an employee, or as both. A lot of people assume that only the income from self-employment needs to go into a tax return application. That is wrong. You should indicate absolutely all streams of income you have received during the particular tax year, inside the country as well as from overseas. There are some elements such as working out which country you are domiciled in that need to be taken into consideration. However, due to its complexity, I suggest you consult an authorized tax advisor or call us right away on +44 20 8095 1000. Today we will assume that we have worked as both self-employed and as an employee so that you can see how both sections need to be completed. Hence, we will answer both of the questions with a yes. We should then indicate how many employments and self-employed businesses we have. When asked what the business name is for your self-employed entity, your name should suffice. This is a sole trader business. Any name can be given to it. The following questions need to be read carefully, and a yes needs to be given to those that apply to you. I suggest you Google each of the terms highlighted in bold in order for you to get a better understanding of what each one means. In our application, we will assume that none of the following apply to us. Okay, so the next stage in the application process is to provide the details for both your employments and your sole trader business. The very least details you need for your PAYE section is your company name, the turnover, the tax paid, and the PAYE reference number. The details can be found on the P45 or P60 form provided to you by your employer. The rest of the questions will be answered with a no if they are not applicable to you. The first question in your self-employment section will ask you if you had an annual turnover of £85,000 or more. For those who exceeded this amount, we suggest you setting up an LTD company as that will bring you more benefits and tax incentives. Below, you can see a number of boxes that need to be ticked if they apply to you. However, in our case, none do, so we can move on. The business name will already be auto-populated. However, make sure you provide a brief description of your business in the second box. A description such as construction services should suffice. However, HMRC will encourage you to provide as many details as possible. The following questions are not mandatory, so no need to populate the fields if they don't apply to you. When asked what date your books or accounts are made up to, please keep in mind that the fiscal year in the UK begins on the 6th of April and it ends on the 5th of April the following year. For the next question, most of you will answer with yes, as cash basis is a simpler way of working out your business profits or losses. You add up all your business income received and take off any allowable expenses paid in your accounting period. Here's where it gets more fun. The very first field called turnover needs to be populated with your revenue number, or gross income if you are more familiar with this term. If you perceived any financial support related to coronavirus, you should plug that into the next field. However, please do not include any self-employment income support scheme payments, as there will be another field later on where you will be asked to include that. The last question on this page will be related to expenses. You can choose to record your expenses as either a single total value or as a detailed breakdown. Another key point to remember is that you cannot include any personal expenses non-related to your business that you have had, such as your home or accommodation, food, clothing, holidays, or anything you buy for you or your family. If you get stuck here, please give us a call on +44 20 8095 1000 and one of our advisors will help you. The next few questions are not mandatory if they don't apply to you, so we will skip them in this video. Make sure you stop when you get asked about your self-employment income support scheme grant. All you need to do is sum up all your grants you have received in the 2021 tax year and input them into the field. To the surprise of a lot of self-employed individuals, these payments are subject to tax. Hence, be prepared to get a smaller tax refund this year if you are entitled to one. The tax deducted section is where we will stop next. In this field, we need to input the amount of taxes that were deducted automatically from your payments. This would usually apply to self-employed individuals working in the construction industry under CIS. If that does not apply to you, then skip over. Again, tick the boxes that apply to you before moving forward. HMRC will ask you to provide them with additional details regarding your business and the services you provide. However, it is not mandatory to provide any details. A summary will then given to you. However, you can skip that, as a more detailed breakdown of how your taxes are calculated will be provided right before you submit your return. You will then be asked if you want to pay voluntarily Class 2 national insurance contributions in case that you don't exceed its threshold, and that will be up to you to decide. One of the benefits of making voluntary Class 2 contributions is if you want to claim maternity allowance or other benefits in the UK. Please ensure that the figures provided in the next questions are correct. If so, make sure you tick the yes box. The next question will ask you to provide the figure of outstanding debt which was included in your 6 April 2020 to 5 April 2021 PAYE Notice of Coding. If this section does not apply to you, then please input a 0 and move on. The overpaid tax section applies to individuals who need to get a tax refund. This section will ask you to provide the bank details that you want your money to be paid to. If you don't expect any money to be issued to you, then choose the non-applicable option. The next section is applicable to those who have not paid enough tax. In this video, we will assume that none of the questions apply to us. Here we are now, a few clicks away from submitting the tax return application. Hit Next to view your calculations mentioned earlier in this video. By clicking on View and print your full calculation, you can see how your taxes were calculated. You might be aware that each year has a personal allowance around £12,500 is applied to each individual taxed in the UK. This means that your first £12,500 will not be taxed. Click Save and Continue in order to move on to the very last step on the application. By ticking these boxes, you declare that the information given on the tax return is correct and complete to the best of your knowledge and belief. Lastly, please go ahead and submit your application. That was easy, wasn't it? We are aware that a lot of questions have been skipped in this video due to the amount of knowledge required that cannot be shared in a single YouTube video. However, if you have any further questions or if you have many more streams of income that you don't know how to declare on your return, feel free to contact us by phone, email, or simply visit our website. For more information, visit our Facebook page or Instagram account, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more financial content. Till next time.